Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Make sure you guys hit the like button as you come in. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for some people to get in, and then we're gonna get into this. Um, just wait a few minutes here, guys. I know I'm a bit early, but um, we're gonna wait a few minutes here. Okay, hold on just a second. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day on today. It's Thursday, one more day closer to Friday. Um, I'm just gonna wait a few minutes. Hey, Miss Sheila, how are you today? Thank you for coming in, Miss Sheila. Um, I'm gonna. I hope you had a wonderful day on today. Um, so we're gonna wait a few minutes, guys, and then we're gonna get into this. I do have Kristin with me. She's in the back, and when everyone comes on, we will get into this interview, and Kristin will tell her story. Um, so guys, all I ask guys is please be respectful in the chat. Hey Reese Cup, how you doing? How you doing? Um, that's all I ask. Please be respectful in the chat. She is open for a few questions when after she tells her story. We're gonna do a little icebreaker just to, you know, not to make everything so uncomfortable. Um, that's one of the things I never want to. Okay. You said Friday is tomorrow. Okay. So I never wanted to be uncomfortable. So guys, all I ask is when I bring her on, please be respectful. Um, I'm good. And we're just going to hear this mother's story and hear about her and her boys, and then we're gonna, if you guys can, all I we ask is to bless her in a mighty way. That's all that we ask. There is the Amazon wish list, um, and her Cash App information if you want to just bless her Cash App. Um, just to help her, maybe get some wrapping paper and stuff like that. Hey Trisha, how are you? Um, so we're going to I'm gonna just go ahead and bring her on the screen, guys. Welcome Kristin to the chat. Hey Kristin, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine.
Kristin, we want to welcome you here to Monica News and Views. I know that we've been assisting you and helping you. It's so exciting to see that you are here, and I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you for coming on and telling your story. So, Kristin, the first thing that I want you to tell everyone is just generally, first thing, something about you and about your boys.
Well, I am 32. I am a mother of three boys, ages 11, 12, and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are we are really from like the Raleigh Durham area of North Carolina. That's where all my real family is at.
Okay.
Um, we currently reside in like on the outskirts of Charlotte.
Okay.
So I'm like almost 3 hours away from my immediate family
Mm-hmm.
now.
Okay.
Um, and we've been here for maybe like, I would say maybe 3 years. My
Mm-hmm.
mother moved here first,
Okay.
and then we eventually moved here.
Okay. So, what made your mother move to your current location?
Um, wow. When my mother moved here, I would say in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my brother, who was actually like my father figure. I never really had a father in my life. So my older brother was all I knew. And he got shot in 2005. Um,
Wow.
so he passed, and
God
where
be.
we're from, it's like a very small hit country town. Um, so it was just a lot going on and stuff, and she just couldn't be in the environment anymore.
Mhm.
Um, she had a good job while we was there. I'm not even gonna lie. Growing up, we didn't ask for nothing. I mean, we didn't want for nothing because my mother always did it, and what she couldn't do, my brother did for us.
Right.
So she ended up having to retire from that job when he got shot and killed. Um,
Mhm.
came to Charlotte, and that's where we been. She just couldn't. Like I said, it was just so much going on with the way he was killed and
Do you want?
people and
Go ahead. Do you want to elaborate on that? Like, I hate. I
um
know.
yeah, I say I was like 14, almost 15 when he passed. I'm not gonna lie, he was in the streets heavy,
Mhm.
real heavy. And a guy that we looked at as a brother also because he was like my brother's best
Mhm.
friend. He set him up one yeah,
Wow.
one night he set him up. And like I said, my brother was heavy in the streets, and
Mhm.
he stole $60,000 out my brother's closet. And when the streets talk, people start
Mhm.
talking. A lot of different females got involved in it, along with guys. Uh, they set my brother up into going into a house, and he was told that he was going to receive his money when he got there. Well, as soon as he walked in the door, he shot him in the head. Um,
Oh my God.
yeah. So, and like I said, that was supposed to be like his best friend. Um, we went to, he ended up turning himself in that same night.
Mhm.
We went to court maybe 2, 3 months later because it
Mhm.
was he took a plea. He ended up getting probation for 10 years. Probation
Wow.
for 10 years. The judge, they, like I said, was a small town. They was just really happy to get my brother off the streets. And the judge sat there and he talked about different tattoos that my brother had on his arm
Mhm.
and stated that he was a menace to society and that they were basically happy that he was off the streets. So the guy ended up, like I said, he ended up getting just 10 years of probation. Um,
Wow.
and that was a lot for my mother to deal with because let me see, my brother was like 11 years older than me. So for a long time, it was just my mother and my brother.
Mhm.
Um, and, I got boys, so and I
Mhm.
understand it now because I have my own children, and I know how it is with your boys. You love all your children, but them boys
Yes.
is something about 'em.
Mhm.
So that was a lot for her. And we had different people. Well, guys in the street saying that they were going to kidnap me and my sister. They were going to do something to us. Me and my sister actually did get robbed back then. Well, tried to rob us, but we didn't have anything. It was so many rumors going around that, he had left us this and left us that and didn't leave us nothing because everything he had, they took.
Mhm.
So yeah, she wanted to get us and herself out that environment because it was too much for us, and we didn't know who to trust
Mhm.
and stuff. So she got us out of there. We came to Charlotte, and that's we came to Charlotte, and then I left Charlotte maybe 2 years afterwards because I just did not like it at first. I didn't like it at all. So I went back to my hometown and stayed with one of my aunts there.
Okay.
Um, And then that's when I met my children's father. Um,
Okay.
and then I ended up with him.
Okay. Well, it seems like okay. So let me ask you this question. I know that you said that you kind of told me that you have dealt with you have dealt with domestic violence. So
Hmm.
can you tell us your story dealing with domestic
Yeah. Like in the beginning of our relationship,
violence?
I would say, first of all, he's older than me.
Hmm.
I think I was 17 when we met.
And how old
He
was
was
he?
like, when we met, he
Talking.
probably right at either 20 or 21, I would say.
Okay.
something like that. And I left my aunt house at 17, and I moved in with him. And he didn't have his own house. He was living with his grandmother, but I moved in with him and his grandmother. Then, major mistake. But I did that, and like I said in the beginning, it was okay. It was cool. I was 17. I didn't, know what I was doing. I just thought I was in love. Um, and then we were together for maybe like 2 years before I actually had my first son.
Mhm.
Um, I had my son, my first baby. I red flag. I worked the entire time. He didn't
Wow.
work anywhere. He didn't. I worked up until I was 8 months pregnant. Um, I bought everything for my first baby. It was nothing that he needed because I bought it all myself.
Mhm.
Now, his family did help out a lot
Mhm.
as far as my first baby is concerned. They bought stuff. I didn't have to buy my baby no Pampers for maybe like almost a year, I guess,
Mhm.
because what I didn't get, his family got for
Right.
my baby.
Mhm.
Um, so I remember I had a C-section because when I went into labor, well, I went to like a normal checkup appointment with the doctor, and they told me that they couldn't hear his heartbeat, so they sent me over to the hospital.
Mhm.
And then when I got to the hospital, that's when they told me that they were finna induce me because his heart rate kept dropping. So they gave me the epidural, and his heart rate just kept dropping. Mine started dropping because I have Crohn's disease.
Wow.
Yeah. So both our heart rates was dropping. So they went ahead and did an emergency C-section on me. He came out like 7 pounds 6 ounces. He was fine when he was born.
Mhm.
We both were fine. I got out the hospital. I was fine. It didn't, really affect me as far as my body and stuff. Um, I think I probably because I still had my stitches in me, so I stay was staples. I say I was maybe like my baby maybe was like 3 weeks old. I guess that was when it first happened. I think either I woke up in the middle of the night or something. I don't know how I found out now, but I believe I must have woke up in the middle of the night and he wasn't home.
Mhm.
Um, so when he got there, that's why I was like, well, where you been?
Right.
Lied, said, yeah, lied, said he had went to the store. Mind you, I had been up for almost 3 hours. It don't take that long to go to the store.
No, they don't.
Yeah. Back then, that's when everybody had like desktops and stuff like that. So I'm looking through like his stuff on the computer. I think it was MySpace or something like that. And I had already seen that he had been talking to a girl.
Mhm.
And his grandmother had told me. His grandmother had told me a couple times. So we got into it that night, and he ended up dragging me like through the floor. Um, and one of his aunts lived maybe like a block away from his grandma's house.
Mhm.
So me and my 2 or 3 week old baby, I took my baby in the middle of the night and we walked
Wow.
to
Was
one of
it
his aunts'
cold?
house. Yeah, my baby was born in October, so it was really cold then,
Okay.
really cold. And we walked to one of his aunt's house, and that's when I found out. That's when I noticed that I was bleeding. He had busted my staples loose.
Wow.
So I ended up going to the doctor's office the next day, and I lied and I told him that I fell down some steps. That nurse did not believe me. She kept looking at me, practically begging me, to tell the truth, what really happened. And I kept lying and said that I had fell down some steps. I
Mhm.
think me and my baby, I never told my mother. Mind you, my mother is still living in Charlotte. I didn't tell her anything. I didn't tell nobody, but his family knew what was going on. I think we probably stayed with his aunt for maybe like a day or two, and I went right on back.
Mhm.
Um, and then after that, I went back to work like when my baby was maybe like 2 months old, I would say,
Mhm.
and he wasn't working, laying at home all day long. But crazy me, I still put my baby in daycare even though he was at
Mhm.
home. I had the baby in daycare, so he would take the baby to daycare in the mornings. Um, So one morning, me and him both went inside the daycare to drop him off. And it was a girl that was working in the daycare. And she just kept looking. You know how, like, when two people see each other, they both got like a dumb look on their face. It was just weird. A very stupid look on her face and his face.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, it was just eating me up the entire day. Like something, it was just kept telling me something not right, something is going on. So I went through his phone, I think, or something like that. Found some texts and stuff. Confronted him. Come to find out, he was mixing with my baby's daycare teacher, the girl that I spoke
Wow,
to
that's
every
that's
single
such a
day.
disrespectful thing.
Right? Yeah. The girl I seen every day, the girl that's holding my baby and rocking my baby every day. Um, so when I found it out, I went to the daycare and she wasn't there at the moment. So I went to the owner. I'm like, well, do you know that your worker is sleeping with, a parent? And apparently everybody at daycare knew about it but me. So,
Wow.
yep, yep. So
And
I
I
ended up having,
was talking about you. I hate to interrupt, but I'm just gonna say they probably was caught talking about you like a dog. Like she
I
was
know they was.
him, and you know what I'm saying. And then she probably because sometimes they have like with a narcissistic kind of person, they usually
Mhm.
hype the side chick mind like she really got it. And knowing
Yeah,
that he ain't working, she should have realized like if he ain't working and he brought dropping the baby off, that means that he ain't got nothing. But go ahead.
right,
Go on with your story.
right. But see, she was young too, the little girl, and I don't know, there was something with him, younger girls. But she was young too, and I would say, well, to finish that story, I ended up taking my baby out of that daycare that day because I was just too embarrassed to even go back to the daycare.
I
Uh,
understand.
yeah, that was so embarrassing. But I think that he liked the young girls because it's easy to control. And even though, like I said, even though he wasn't working, there wasn't nothing that he couldn't get between his mother, his aunts, his grandma. They spoiled him to death, spoiled him rotten.
See, that's what he
Um,
said. They
yeah,
oppose.
yep, that was the problem. You're right. Cars, anything. He messed one car up or one car go back or something, get a brand new car within a week or two. He never wanted for anything. And we literally stayed at his grandma's house. I probably stayed there maybe on and off 3 or 4 years, on and off with his grandmother. Um, I wound up getting my own house. I got my own house when I had my second son. Yeah, I ended up getting my own house when I had my second son. And I let his brother come stay with us then. And to believe it or not, his brother was like a really big help to me.
Mhm.
It was plenty of times that me and him would get into it, and his brother would stop the situation. He did not put his hands on me in front of his brother, and this was his younger brother, but
Mhm.
he was always there for me. But he used to always put it in my ear that, oh well, he talking to this person, or he would use his phone to talk to this person and stuff. And back then I thought that, okay, well, I guess, he look at me as his sister, so he just trying to protect me. But as I got older and wiser, I saw none of them really like me. They just did that, to start drama and things like that. His
Wow.
entire family did it. The entire family did that. I would call them, and especially like one of his aunts, I would call them, and I
Mhm.
mean, they'll sit on the phone and talk trash about him to me. Oh, leave him, girl, and telling me what
Mhm.
I want to hear. But
Mhm.
then, you
You-
know,
Yes. And let me just say this. That sound like some of the things similar that I went through previously with my kid's father. But you have
mhm,
you have to know that it's nothing that you do, Kristen. It's all what
mhm,
he did. And like I said, most narcissistic people, they have their family upholding their wrongdoing, and
mhm,
and then they'll be like in your face saying one thing, but go behind their back talking trash about you to him
mhm. Right?
because
Yep.
they die for their family member. I like.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
So,
so go ahead on and let me just ask you this question. So who is it? Hold on, it's my brother. Hold on. Um,
Okay.
hold on just a second. I'm so sorry. Don't-
Oh, you're fine.
I'm, let me just be honest with me and my kids, and I don't expect a lot of company unless somebody texts me.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, but Wanda says men who abuse women, they hide their abuse. They don't want their abuse to be seen. True. Did it was it a time that like he tried to hide? Like, has he ever like? It was a time that y'all ever fought in front of family to where, or in front of the children, or
Um,
that?
I would probably say the kids seen it maybe twice at the most. I would say.
Can you turn on your
Um,
TV just a little bit more? Cause I
oh,
can hear you.
let me just. I would say maybe like twice. They seen it at the most.
Hmm.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, baby. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, but I would say maybe two or three times at the most. Normally it would be like late at night when they sleep or something like that. When we would get into it or something. Far as family,
How
other
long did
than
you hide from your family? Let me ask you that.
mm, I hid it from my family up until just maybe 2 years ago is probably when I wait a
So
minute. Maybe like 2 or 3 years ago is when I finally broke down and told my mother the truth. It was embarrassment, um, mainly embarrassment, and then I would say because of where I'm from and where I'm from, like I said, it's a very small town, and my brother was huge in the streets, so I was very well known in that town, just as his little sister. So, it felt kind of crazy and stupid. Like I felt stupid and
you're
crazy,
not stupid,
who I am to allow anybody to do this. Because,
right?
my brother did have a lot of guy friends that I could have easily picked up the phone and said, hey, he didn't hit me. And they've been there. But I didn't do that because that was I was embarrassed, to be honest with you. I was really embarrassed. And then I put on a facade, especially for my mother. And every time he seen my mother, he was very nice and respectful to my mother, and to anybody in my family.
Mm,
So I just carried that, like
on the
everything
inside.
was happy, yeah. And all my family, I got cousins right now. That's extremely jealous of me and that relationship because they still think everything is picture perfect.
But because you put up that face, but I bet you did it ever come a time that you were like depressed or
Oh, I was depressed.
suicide?
Yes, ma'am. I was depressed. I didn't know I was depressed. And like I told you, I have Crohn's disease. So, and for the people that don't know what that is, it's like, okay, you know how like you may get a stomach virus
Mhm,
or something like that? Me, I get it 10 times worse. So I take, it's like an inflammation of your colon.
mhm,
So I take steroids and different infusions and different types of medications for that.
mhm.
And a lot of time, like if I'm in pain or something like that, I would take a pain medication. I didn't know it, but I had got addicted to pain medication.
Wow.
Um, yep, I was
Mhm.
addicted to pain medication for about 5 or 6 years, I'd say. I literally couldn't get out the bed unless I would take a pill. Um, and then my mother, I think either, yeah, well, anyways, I lived in Georgia too with him. I moved to Georgia.
Mhm.
And that's when it really came to me that I was on, addicted to these pills and stuff. So yeah, I went into, what is the name of the clinic? I forgot the name of the clinic now. But I did outpatient treatment for like 6 months. And to this day, I still see a therapist. I see a therapist once a month. Yeah, so it was hard, but the pain medication, it wasn't even helping with the pain anymore. It was just I was depressed, and I just wanted to sleep, to be honest with you. So,
Was you trying to sleep from keeping him from trying to abuse you,
uh,
or
I
to
was
numb the pain of him abusing you?
uh probably both, and just the embarrassment, wanting to just go home and embarrassed to pick up the phone and say, "Mom, come get me. It's not right here." Um, so yeah, I just stayed there and dealt with it.
Mm. So how long did do you need a minute?
No, I'm fine. Mm-mm.
Okay, okay. Because I don't want it to be too, like I told you, I never wanted
Yeah,
to become overwhelming for you. So if you want
yeah.
to take a minute, we could do an icebreaker or two. You want to just take a minute and do an icebreaker or two? So,
No, we can keep going. We can keep
okay,
going.
okay. So,
Mhm.
I know that this is difficult because I know I have experience in it. It's probably many people that is going to be listening. You may be changing somebody's life right now. So,
Mhm.
we tell me about Georgia. Tell me how life was like in Georgia. How long did you live in Georgia?
We lived in like Augusta, Georgia, and we moved there because his mother is military, so
Mm-hmm,
she was stationed there once again, staying with someone else. Um,
mm-hmm,
so we moved in with her. For maybe like a year, we stayed with her in Georgia, and then I got my own apartment in Georgia. Like I said, at first Georgia was fine. I liked it. I had, got me a job. I liked my work friends. Um, my kids were, my oldest had just really started pre-K.
mm-hmm,
So they were maybe like 3, 4, and 5 then or something like that. Um, so it was going well at first. And then I just, once again, the cheating thing, I just got tired of it.
mm-hmm,
Um, so like I said, I had got my own apartment. I was working, and I had my own transportation. So I was like, when I found out he was cheating once again, I was like, you can go, get out my house. So he did. He left and went to his mama house, which was just like right around the corner. And I remember I was having surgery maybe like 2 weeks after I had kicked him out. And what happened? I think I don't know what happened now, but my bills were like so far behind
mm-hmm,
because it was just me paying them.
mm-hmm.
And whatever little bit money, like I would call my mama and make up a lie why I needed something, or something like
Right.
that. Because she thought he was working, that was what I told her. Um, so the day before I had my surgery, my power got cut off.
Okay.
So I called him because his mother lived like literally around the corner from my apartment.
Hold on.
I called,
Can you hold on just a second? Can
mhm.
you mute your TV because we're gonna
Yeah.
get me a copyright?
Okay. Is
Okay.
it?
Okay.
Is it?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna be rude, but
Oh no, you're fine.
okay.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
maybe like a day before the surgery, that's when my power got cut off.
Mm-hmm,
Called him. He came and picked the children up,
mm-hmm,
but left me in the apartment with no power, no nothing on. I was embarrassed to even called my mother. So my friend ended up taking me to have my surgery the next day, and it was an outpatient procedure.
Hmm.
Uh, I didn't have a dime to my name. She paid for all my medications that I needed after surgery. And I
Wow.
came back home to the apartment with no lights, no water, no nothing on. I
Wow.
laid, I laid there on that chair for maybe like 3 or 4 days by myself until I said I had no choice but to call my mama. So I called my mother, and her and my stepdaddy came and got me and my babies the next day. Um, so we came back to Charlotte with them, and we stayed with my mother. And I ended up taking him back. So I'm in Charlotte. He's in Georgia. He had got a job then, because of course he wasn't coming to stay at my mama house because my mama didn't play it. So it was, what men do, tell you everything you want to hear. So
Hmm.
I'm working here, he's working there, trying to get money so we can get our own apartment in Charlotte. But yeah, I never went back to Georgia after that. And honestly, if my mother wouldn't have had to come get me, I probably would have went back then. But I was because of the embarrassment that I finally had to break down and tell my mother, no, I won't going back to Georgia. So I never went back to
Hmm.
Georgia. But maybe like a few months later, he ended up coming to Charlotte anyways because I had got my own place.
Right. So, so, I understand. He probably said, since you wasn't with him, it probably wasn't his obligation to, you know,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
and probably trying to take care of your kids and stuff by yourself, and him just doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Get hard. Trying to pay daycare and then trying to, pay bills, and then you got this, going
hmm
on.
Yeah, it was hard. He smoked weed like nonstop. So I'm working. I'm trying to make sure the baby's good, make sure I'm good. And then I also had to make sure he was good because I had to pay for that every single day. That came out of my pocket. And I was so young and crazy back then that I felt like I had to get it for him because if he didn't have it, he had an attitude. He was mad. So I thought that I was making him happy. So,
This just feels like deja vu to me. Because you know why,
mm,
Chris? Because
mhm,
I went through the same thing. And
mhm.
it's crazy that weed is the only way you can be happy.
Right? He wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't eat nothing until he had that every single day. Now, after he smoked, maybe 10 minutes later, oh, he the best person in the world. But before that, no, he wouldn't mumble a word to me.
Wow.
Mhm. Yep. So, um, we got our own apartment in Charlotte. Um, and I would say maybe like the first 2 years, it was the same thing as it was in Georgia.
Hmm.
Mainly I'm doing everything. But then maybe, like I said, after maybe like 2 years, I thought everything was good because he was working. Far as the bills and stuff, he was helping. A lot of times he did it all by himself. I didn't even have to pay anything. He was, buying me stuff. It was just like a completely different person. Um, and then, that lasted for a while. Then the 2020, the beginning of 2020, my mother just started getting really sick. Like she would have really bad stomach aches and stomach pains and stuff. So she wound up going to the emergency room. I took her to the emergency room, like maybe in February or March of last year. Um, I took her. They automatically admitted her. She had tests ran, and then that's when we found out that she had stage 4 cancer. She had ovarian cancer. And all so we found out maybe like in February, March, I would say. By August, she was having a surgery. We had surgery. After surgery, it was just like it went downhill. I became her primary caregiver. Um, I would say maybe the end of September. She got extremely sick. I ended up taking her back into the hospital. She ended up staying for like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And this is like when COVID first really hit. So they wouldn't let me see her or anything like that. Finally, the doctors wanted to meet with me. So they called me up to the hospital because I was her medical power attorney. They called me up to the hospital, told me it was nothing else that they could do for her. So she came to my house on hospice care.
Mhm.
Um, and he was there. He was there every step of the way when my mother got sick. She was on hospice care for maybe like 4 days at my house. And it was just me and her. I didn't want my children to see her like that, and she didn't want them to see her like that. So he took the kids to Georgia with his mother, and they stayed there. Wow, because the doctors had already told me that she probably wouldn't even make it 2 weeks. So I already kind of had that in my head, but I still was like thinking
Something.
something going. Yeah, but yeah, she stayed in my house maybe like 3, 4 days, I guess. And then she passed. She passed in the room I'm in now. In the bed. She passed in my room. Holding my hand actually. So, you know, before that, it was just me, my mother, and my sister. That was after my brother passed. It was just us. So she was married, but unfortunately, when you get sick, that's when you see people true colors.
Mhm.
So he wasn't, her husband wasn't no help, none whatsoever. So I ended up having to bury my mother, plan the arrangements, do everything by myself. And one of my aunts that I'm really close to, she did come and she helped me out a lot because I was lost. I didn't know what I was doing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I buried my mother October 31st of last year.
Oh, 2021, 20.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep. After my mother passed, like I said, he was there. He was, at least I thought so. He was there. Um, but then I started to feel like that he got big headed because my mother wasn't here no more. And everybody that knew me and my mother was like this. Kristin didn't want nothing long as my mother was here. You know,
Mhm.
I was her baby. So, yeah, I felt like that. He felt like that I needed him. I didn't have nobody, and that he could do anything he wanted to do to me. So, yeah, he showed me his true colors when she passed.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit for me? Hey,
Um,
Mr. Ryan.
I would say like just talking to me any kind of way. Um, if I asked for something, he would give it to me, but he would make me feel so little that I wouldn't even want to ask for it. Um, I do feel like I don't know anything concrete, but I do feel like that the cheating and stuff had probably never stopped.
Mhm.
But I definitely feel like that was there more, a lot more cheating. Um, just very disrespectful. And like I said, just got really big headed. Just because this is my children's father and I have been together since I was 17 years old, and I'm 32 now. So he's all I know. So yeah, I just felt like that. After my mother passed, it was just, got the
I
big
got
head
you
like I
now.
need.
I
Yeah, I
got
got
you
you.
now. You ain't got nobody.
Yeah.
You ain't. But
Hmm.
so let me
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Seemed like you walked away. What was the detrimental moment that you decided that
To
this
walk
is
away.
it? Mhm.
Um, the cheating once again. Like I said, he was working. He's actually a plumber,
Mhm.
and he was going out of town to work in Greensboro, which is maybe like an hour and a half away from where we at. And they would construction. I didn't think nothing of it because a lot of construction go out of town and stuff. So he would work like during the week there and come home on the weekend.
Mhm.
Well, when he would come home on the weekend, he just like it was just like he wanted to sleep all the time. He didn't even, want to be around me and nothing like that. So I'm like, what in the world? So one day when he was at lunch, because we talked on the phone all the time when he was at work, but we not on the phone, we texting. So I heard a girl in the background. He hung the phone up and tried to play it off. So when he called me back, he was like, "Oh, it was the waitress at a restaurant." Okay, so
You might
my
want
son,
to play.
right, my son, and I was in the car when I heard that, so I didn't say anything because I had my son with me. I had my youngest son with me, and we ride down the road. I didn't even think my son noticed it. He was like, "Mom, you do know there was a girl in the background, right?" So when he got home that Friday, he left his phone wide open. He was drunk or high or something. Left the phone wide open because he had me. I guess since back in the day, he got smart. He had got a code on his phone, and he had like the pattern thing, so I couldn't even figure that out.
Mhm.
But he left it open that night. So I'm seeing all these numbers and stuff. So um, one of them I called because it was a Greensboro number. I'm like, why would you have that number? An area code like that on your phone? Yep, come to find out, I think she was 17, 18 years old. He down there, excuse me, 38, 37, 38 years old.
He wants somebody to groom.
Yep.
See, he done
Hmm.
groomed you out, like in his mind, he
Yeah.
done groomed you already.
Yeah.
So you done been with him over almost 10, 20 years, almost 15.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
he wants someone young to manipulate and to mold into the woman he wants them to be.
Hmm. Yeah. So I woke him up in the middle of the night. We got into it. And I told him that I was not going to put him out in the middle of the night, but the next morning you need to start because both our name on this lease.
Mhm.
So I told him he needed to figure it out, find, make arrangements, whatever you got to do. But we got to go our separate ways. Um, so, and that's what we did.
So, so how do you feel now? You know, that you have separated from him. Do you? How do you feel? Let me just say that.
Um, Sometimes I feel like, well, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I feel I be lonely, because that's practically all I know. You know what I mean? Um, but I think because my boys are older now, um, there's only so much I'll allow them to see me treated. And I know, I made a promise to my mother. She told me to do not allow nobody to treat me any kind of way. And so I can't break that promise. So, um, but I'm not gonna lie. Like I said in the beginning, at first I was extremely lonely, but now
Mhm.
I sleep better at night.
Good,
I do.
good,
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
You don't keep that promise to yourself and to your
Hmm.
mother that you deserve to be treated like a queen. It's don't you're a you're a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
People appreciate you, and I just want you to know your story has really touched me, and it's probably touched a lot of people in this chat. And my thing is, so in your mind, what is the future for you and your boy?
Um. Well, the crazy thing that even forgot to tell you, that I actually have. I know you like, oh, I know this is going to be shocking for everybody because I do have my own business. I have I do
Right.
taxes. I have a tax company. I would take the
No.
company. But when my mother got sick last year, it was just a lot. And I couldn't do what I needed to do as far as like my business is concerned. But I do plan on January. I'm back rolling. I'm trying to, it's just like this hard patch right here. It's just really hard. Um,
Um,
and my children know it. They know it. They tell me all the time, Mom. When January comes, we'll be good. We're gonna be straight because they always say you know how to make your money in January. So that's basically what I've been doing, trying to re-get my business out there.
mhm,
Like, just trying to get everything back in order because, like I said, last year I just let it go. But I did very well last year, even though it was COVID. But like a dummy, instead of saving up, I would throw him $600-700 every other day. So I blew money. I did when my mother, when she passed. Well, she didn't have any insurance. She couldn't get insurance when
mhm,
health insurance because of her disease. So I had to pay cash for my mother's
mhm.
funeral, and I didn't have
Wow.
no help. None of her husband. And we all know it's not cheap to bear nobody. And he gave me $1,500, I think, if that much.
To bury your mama?
Mhm.
She
I
didn't
heard.
have. Did she have life insurance?
Mm-mm, no,
Man,
no, no. Well, her husband gave me $1,500 on the bill to bury her, but it cost me almost $6,500 to put my mama in the ground. Um, so I had to do that on my own. I did. I could not leave my mama sitting out there in the graveyard without a headstone. And I just felt like I wanted to get her something nice, so I put money into her headstone too. I did that all by myself. Like I said, with my children's father, I would throw him $700-800 a day at one time, because when you have your own tax company, mine was big. I had over 70 or 80 clients myself that I did.
wow.
So, yeah, I had income rolling in, almost every other day. So it was nothing, you know, just being young and crazy, not saving like I should have. I would pay him sometimes $300 to go to the store for me. Crazy
Wow.
stuff like that. Um, Cause money, that's what he like. That's what he know. And to keep him happy, I did it like a dummy.
But what did he do to
On
keep?
top, he was
I guess.
working.
Yeah, but what was
Yeah,
he doing to make Kristen happy? You have to ask
nothing.
yourself that
I just wanted to say I had somebody and to keep up this
question.
for everybody else. So
It's time for,
yeah.
let me just say this, as a single mother to single mother, it's time for you to work on your happiness. He
Mm,
was there, now he's passed. He's going to always be your child's father. Yes, your children's father. But, you know, um, but there's a lesson in it all. Um, Trust me, you coming out on top. I know it's like, it's like down right now. But I always know that one thing I always put in my head when I go through a struggle is like, this ain't gonna last forever. I just got to get through it. And I just want you
yeah.
to know, it's not gonna last forever. We just got to get through it. And God gonna bless us with, the desires of our heart. You stay strong, you stay moving forward. Don't look back. You don't have to pay no. I had to learn that because I was one of the people that were doing that, paying somebody to love me, right? No,
Yeah.
like,
That's exactly you right. That's exactly what I did for years. Yeah, I basically paid somebody. Yeah,
cause
yeah.
and I'm
So
gonna be
and
real.
this is
Like,
like
go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Go ahead. Baby.
no, I was just gonna say this is like that's when I had, when I initially realized reached out to you. It was so hard because I've never, other than my mother and my brother, I never asked nobody for nothing. I always done it myself. If I didn't have it, my brother had it before he passed. After he passed, if I had it, my mama had it. She was gonna give it to me regardless of what, even if it was the last. So as far as anybody else, I never had it. I, that's one thing that I can proudly say. I never had to. Growing up, I never had to worry about what I'm gonna eat. Any of that stuff. So this
Uh-huh.
is like so new to me to even ask anybody for anything. But in these last few months, this is like the toughest time of my life. I've been down to where I haven't even had $1 to my name. And my children aren't used to that. They used to be able to go to the store and they ask mama for something. They know I'm gonna get it for them. Like right now, they had, my children always had cell phones since they was 6, 7 years old. Their phones off. That's one thing that's killing me because I've always been able to make sure my babies was good. But they're so thankful for anything. They told me the other day they don't even care if the phone's off. They got Wi-Fi. They want to talk to their friends. They use Wi-Fi. I know they want their phones, like any other child, but they're just trying to make me because they're very protective of me. Very protective.
Right. But sometimes it could be just us mothers wanting because we
Want
so
it?
used to providing it for them. Um,
Yeah.
the same way, like I got my kids iPads and my daughter's screen is messed up now, but I refuse to fix it because I know they're gonna mess it up again. So that's why I make the decision to do it when I actually want to. And then I used to feel the same way, like man, I can't get this for my kids, I can't get that for my kids. But guess what? My kids, they love me, they love you, and
Yeah.
they know that this is a hard time. They know that one thing about it, your kids gonna love you. The materialistic things don't matter. It's the love and the things you teach them and the attention
Right.
you give them. Showing them
Right.
is what matters. The materialistic things, it'll come, it'll go, and something else new that they'll want. But if you're being a good mother to them,
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. So I'm just, like I said, it's just extremely hard right now these last few months. So, I'm just trying to push and, finally make it through, this year. And, next year I'm just going to start it off right, make sure my business is in order, save, 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 and, just try to get it together.
and make a go on vacation with your boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. That's why I said I'm definitely going to take them somewhere. Mhm.
Please do that and do something nice for yourself. Don't leave yourself out of that. Kristin, your story is it just really took a toll on my heart, because you've been with people a lot and then you have lost the
Yeah.
processing of it all. Um,
Yeah.
and then to know that your brother was, basically killed, and all
Mhm.
that, it's a very heart wrenching story. And my heart goes out to you. Um, And I'm going to, we're going to change gears because I want to do a couple of icebreakers with you just to, you know, just to keep just make it a little bit fun. You have, you can get past all, this.
Uh,
We know your story. Are you open to answering a few questions? If anybody in the chat have any questions,
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
well, while I'm pulling up the icebreakers, does anyone in the chat have any questions for Kristin or anything like I have dropped the link, guys, to if you want to give to Kristin and her boys. Um, if you wanted to just bless her cash app to, give her anything, that's it right there. Shout out to the McCray Kings as well, guys. They did join forces with me to help Kristin. And, we appreciate them for helping us, helping Kristin. Um, Let me see.
Yeah. And we have we've received maybe like 10 gifts so far, but altogether, I think it's been like 14 that has actually been purchased. The other ones just haven't been shipped out yet. But yeah, altogether it's been like 14 presents. So we truly thank you everybody for 'em. Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't know how to send like the thank you things on the Amazon thing, so that's why I didn't do that. But
That's shout out to you. I know you're grateful. I can look at you
yeah.
and tell you're grateful. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on and telling your story. One of my subscribers said, "Hang in there. Take it as a life lesson and grow with God. You
Mhm.
can get back on top."
Yeah.
Um, so the first question I have for you, I'm just gonna ask for a few random questions. Um,
Mm.
and then I'm gonna let you go. What is your earliest childhood memory? What is your
Um, my earliest childhood memory, I probably would say, well, maybe like when I was in like kindergarten, first grade, I used to cry all the time. I did not want to be away from, I didn't want to be away from, my mother
sound
or my
like my
brother.
daughter?
I cried all the time. Um, so I just remember every time she took me to school. Before, as soon as
Okay.
we pull in that lot, I'd be hollering and crying. I would make up a reason of why I'm sick or I need to go home, and my brother would be right there picking me up from school. And that went on for 3 or 4 years, I guess. I wanted to always be around him because I was so close, especially with my brother. We were like
Mhm.
extremely close. So
Well, that's good. That's good. So Miss Laverne says, yes, take the good with the bad and keep it pushing. You got this.
yeah.
Let me see what other question I have. What is something that is on your bucket list of things you want to do?
um, things I want to do. Uh, I guess probably one of them would be just to take my kids to like Disney World because they always talking about, and I see I've never been to Disney World myself.
Mhm.
So I want to take them there and just surprise them because that's like something that they wouldn't expect me to want to go.
Mhm.
Because I really don't do like outside and stuff like that. So
Okay. So the next question I have for you, got anybody want to say anything to Kristen or anything like that? Make sure you put it in the chat. So do you have any favorite animals?
yeah, I love dogs. I'm not scared of dogs at all. Yeah, so I like dogs, all kinds of dogs.
Okay. Um, so if you had your own talk show, who would be your first guest? Who would be your first guest?
Um, my first guest, to be honest with you, my first guest probably wouldn't be anybody that's famous or anything like that.
Really?
It would probably be some of them girls that was in that the place that I went to get help when I was addicted to pills. It would probably
Wow.
be and I guess I would choose one of them because I know before I even went and got the help, I thought that, oh, these people in there, they are just like horrible people. They sprung out on this but when you get there, no, I had some people in the class with me I had a doctor in the class with me. Um, had really good careers and stuff. It's just crazy that anybody that can happen to anybody. Um, so yeah, I probably would because I know it's a lot of people that is addicted to narcotics now. And it's just so easy to get addicted because, doctors, they just passing it out left and right to you. So yeah, I would definitely want to do like an interview with,
Mhm,
someone that's trying to get the help that's
mhm.
addicted, because there's so many people out there that's addicted but embarrassed to get the help. or even know that they're addictive.
Right. And that's so awesome of you. Um,
Mm.
so the next thing is, um, well, who is your celebrity crush? Let me just ask you this: who is your celebrity crush? Who you think is your celebrity crush?
Um, my celebrity crush. Well, he's not here no more, but we have been Kobe Bryant because I used to love my son. I love Kobe since I was a little girl. That was,
Mhm.
yeah. When Kobe died, girl, I cried like that was somebody I knew for real. So yeah,
Talking
it
about
would have been
who?
Kobe Bryant. Yes,
Oh, child, everybody was so sad about that.
yes, yeah. Me and my mama, we cried like that was somebody we knew. So yes,
Everyone was so upset because you wasn't expecting that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So let me ask you this question. What is one thing you're really bad at? Like what you're not really good at?
Um, I would probably say put myself first. That's one thing that I'm extremely bad with. Even like I said, when I was with him, I wouldn't even buy myself clothes or shoes. I would go to the mall and buy him something. And still to this day, I'm like that. I barely do anything for myself or get myself anything. I'm always getting for my children, and before my children, it was always him. But I would always do something for someone else versus myself.
And let me say this, Kristin. Next year, vow to yourself you work on yourself. Do you hear me? Um,
Hmm.
girl, get you one of these wigs, child. This ain't nothing but what this is, a headband wig. Throw you one
Uh,
on, keep it moving.
yeah.
Well, if you want to wear makeup, I know you look beautiful with makeup. You wear makeup,
Mm-mm, I don't wear
yeah, go
makeup.
get you some that, or some what's that Rihanna? What's the Rihanna?
Fenty, is it Fenty
Yeah,
or
Fenty
oh,
Beauty.
Fenty? Yeah.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
get you some Fenty Beauty, girl. Put that on your beautiful face, girl, and you go out with the girls, and you have you a girl night out, and drink you a margarita, and be pretty for a night. Do that for yourself. If you can't do it for one time, do it for you yourself on your birthday. You deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I gotta get back used to well, I gotta start talking to people because, for years I didn't have no friends or nothing. It was just him that I talked to. I didn't
That's what I'm
talk to
saying. See,
nobody.
he had molded you to just be about him, and
Hmm.
since you have got that, I know that what I'm saying that it's hard to move on when you have loved someone and you have been with someone for so long. But that's the only thing that you have with him, really, is children
Yeah,
and years.
right. Yep. Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Miss
You.
Sheila, don't take a wig, y'all. Yeah, but well, yes, just be careful who you friends with. Get those friends that's going to elevate you, that's going to be like a to you or a brother to you, and
Mhm.
go out and have a good time. Have What's your relationship like with your sister?
It's we were so close growing up.
Mhm.
But then, like I said, I kind of isolated myself from everyone. So we since my mother passed, I will say because now it's just me and her. But she lives 2 hours away from me. And she's in school. She's in nursing school. So hopefully she graduates in January. And she graduates, then she do plan on moving here to be closer to me and the children. But we just, I guess, because we've been split for so long, we're trying to, learn each other once again.
Mhm.
But we talk.
Don't
I'm not gonna lie.
ever isolate your family. You don't need your
I
family.
know. I know that was like the major mistake, and I tell people all the time, don't let no man take you away from that far from your family. Don't do that. That was like
Right. I
major
know
mistake.
I know you like. Do it ever feel like a sense of relief now that you feel like you have? Are you completely over it, or you still have those moments?
No, I'm completely over it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want nothing bad to happen to him. If he calls and want to see his children, of course, I never hold him away from him. Um, but far as me and him, no, I think because I'm older now, and then I think I just watching my mother, seeing how fast like life happen. You can be okay one moment, and the next moment you could be out of here. Um, so I don't want to live my life having to worry about am I being cheated on? Or, is this person that gave me something?
Right.
I just really want to be happy, and I don't want to be depressed. You know, it's plenty of times we sat in the same house and ain't said nothing but a word to each other, maybe one word, or be in the same house and instead of talking to me, he'll text me all day long in the other room, text me instead of talking to me. So it was like I was by myself, anyways.
Hmm. Well, thank God that you are beyond that. So let me see here. What's your biggest pet peeve? I'm gonna ask you a few more questions, and then we're gonna
Mhm.
look at chat.
My biggest pet peeve is a dirty kitchen. I don't like no dirty house altogether. I don't like no dirty house. I guess that's just how I was raised, especially the kitchen. I can't. Mm-mm. I don't like dishes in the sink. None of that stuff. I just don't like that.
Okay. All right. Um, if you could only have three apps on your phone, which would you choose?
Mm, I know Facebook gonna be one of them because I'm on Facebook all the time. Facebook, YouTube, and probably uh my Candy Crush because I play that all the time too. So
I used to be so addicted to Candy Crush.
yeah.
Um, what's the last new thing you tried?
Hmm, the last new thing I tried.
Sushi.
Trying to think. I don't know. It's been a long time, probably.
Well, since I'm
Oh yeah, I know. Maybe like a month ago, me and the kids was in the grocery store, and um, they had wanted some stuff to make tacos with, and now they have like the chipotle stuff that you can make at home. So that was new to us because I had never seen that in the grocery store before.
okay. Well,
So
that's new
yeah,
to you. It's not new to many, but it's new to you. That's
yeah, it was new to me because I had never seen it in the grocery store. So yeah,
okay.
um, we did that. We made chipotle at home.
Okay. So, what's the most spontaneous thing you ever done?
Um, Probably nothing because, like I said, I don't really do stuff like that. I
Okay.
haven't done stuff like that. Nope,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So, would you like to be famous, and for what for? If you ever wanted to
uh,
be famous.
no, I don't think I could be famous. I'm a very shy person, um, and I don't open up a lot to people.
Mhm.
So yeah, it probably wouldn't work with me being famous because I would be very boring. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
So, um, what would you do if you had an extra hour in the day?
Um, I would probably sleep because I don't sleep. I don't sleep.
Why you don't
Most,
sleep?
uh, I think, I don't know. Probably just stress and um,
Worrying how you gonna do this
mm,
and how you gonna do that. Um,
yeah, yeah. Most of the time, I if I go to sleep early. I maybe sleep around 10 o'clock, but I'm up by 12. So I'm up again, and then I'm probably up to maybe I doze off about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and by 6 o'clock I got to get up anyways for the kids. So that's what I do. I'm like kind of up a
Um,
lot.
mhm. So besides doing taxes and able to, because that's a good thing to do, know how to do that.
Yes, it's
What's an unusual skill you have?
um, believe it or not, I'm very, very smart when it comes like to bookkeeping, accounting, stuff like that. And I ain't never went to nobody's college.
Good, good.
I don't know. It was well, I originally learned how to do taxes like 11, 12 years ago, I think.
Mhm.
I just wanted to join the tax class at Liberty Tax one year, and it just went from there. But I've had jobs where I was accountant for a company. I did the accounting, bookkeeping. I'm not gonna lie, I had some very good jobs that most people would have to have a degree, or they at least want a degree or something. Because I catch on so quick. You can show me something one or two times, and I got it. So yeah, I would say that it's just like I said. I think what happened that really kind of got me in this position was just
Mhm.
losing my mother. It was just like everything was just happening. Everything was on me, so I really didn't get to grieve. And I just kind of put everything in the back of my head, my emotions, and try to deal with everything else and trying to make sure my kids okay with dealing with it, got them counseling, stuff like that. And I think it just kind of hit me a few minutes ago when it finally hit me. You know what? I don't have nobody. Who I had is gone. So yeah, it's just
But you
been
do have somebody. You have your boys, and,
yeah, yeah. You're right.
and you have yourself to depend on, and you have
Hmm.
that man right there, God, and He gonna
Yeah,
see you through.
yeah, and I do. I have an aunt that lives where we're from, but my aunt is kind of older. She's the oldest of my mother's sisters. We are close, but like I said, she's like in her late 60s, and she already worried about me a lot now, anyways. So she got her own grandchildren too, and I just try not to worry her, with anything. So,
So
but yeah,
don't let pride, because I'm
mm,
that. Don't let pride get in the way though, because
yeah, I know that's what it is too. Yep.
yeah, don't let your pride get in the way. Let
Hmm.
if someone's willing to help you, let them. And don't
Yeah.
be embarrassed because I ain't gonna lie. It's been times that I be struggling, and I be like, "Mama, man, I might need like $20 to make it through the week, for gas or something."
Yeah.
Don't never because you one of those people that say I always got it, and then this time I
Mm,
ain't got it, so I'm embarrassed. But never be embarrassed.
yeah.
Every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm learning now that, everybody, struggles sometimes. So,
Yeah,
yeah, just
you know,
so yeah,
yeah.
I'm learning that now.
Yeah, I
But
think that, right now that you're talking it out, I don't think you really just. I guess now because the tears are flowing because you just not realizing that you really hasn't really talked or faced what all that you have overcame and the death
yeah.
of your mother, how it took a toll on you. Um,
Hmm.
and maybe if you're going to counseling, continue to go to counseling, and work through those
Yeah.
issues because I know.
Yeah.
Losing a mother is a tough thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the hardest thing I ever went through. I don't wish that pain on nobody. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like I said, I did not really get to deal with it. Because I'm, running around trying to make everything happen.
Hmm.
So, and then on top of my own health issues, it's a lot.
Hmm. So, with your Crohn's disease,
Hmm.
just educate us a little bit about the Crohn's disease and how
Hmm.
it affects your body. A little.
Okay, so it's inflammation of the colon. What that is, like I said, that's like like when you get a stomach virus or something like that, you may be sick and vomiting for maybe a day or two, something like that. With me, it's a little more extreme. I may go to the bathroom. It's nothing but blood,
Oh,
vomiting, blood. It's like when your colon just gets very
mhm,
inflamed. Um, I've, been on all different types of medications, like Remicade. I'm not sure if you're really familiar with that. That's like a infusion that I used to have to go get.
mhm.
Um, Now I give myself a shot every other week. I'm on something called Hamera. You might have heard it advertised on TV or something
Tomorrow,
like that.
yeah, that's advertised.
Yeah, yeah, but I give myself a shot, and then I'm on steroids. I've been on steroids for over 3 years. That's why I have like the pie face. It makes you very puffy. A lot of people gain weight. I've always been small my whole life, but the steroids have put on. Um, it actually gave me weight, so I really like the weight that it gave me. I just don't like the
Puppy
puffiness.
face. Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, and the stress can cause me to have flare ups and stuff. I'm actually going through a flare up right now. So that's one thing that the doctors try to get you to, to try not to be stressed out and, stuff like that. My
Mhm,
son, my youngest son, he actually has to have an MRI just coming up Monday.
mhm.
And they're going to put him to sleep for his, but they think that he may have Crohn's disease because
Mhm. So
he's,
it's gonna
every
take.
time. Every time he eat, he has to go to the bathroom within 5 minutes. And I think that's a part too why I really didn't travel a lot or don't travel a lot because I never know, when I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom or something like that. And it can get embarrassing. That's why I've always done majority work from home jobs. That's why I chose like bookkeeping and stuff like that because I can do that from anywhere that I got a computer. But that's why I choose, work from home jobs. So, because it's embarrassing going back and forth to the bathroom. I did a lot of times when you tell employees that hey, I got Crohn's, they don't know what it is, so they just think you're contagious or something like that. So yeah, they did want to take part of my colon though part that's inflamed out. Um, but I didn't want that. I had a one of my employees. She had Crohn's disease, an older lady, and she was telling me that she let them remove part of her colon, and she still had flare ups and stuff. So she was telling me I was young, and that was a lot because that means I would have had to been walking around with a bag on me on my
Wow.
side. And she told me she wouldn't do it at my age. I'm way too young for that. Yeah, so right now they're just kind of playing with the different medications and trying to see what works for me and what don't work for me because I've had Crohn's for maybe I got diagnosed when I was 8 or 9 years old, so I've had it all my life basically.
Wow.
Mm.
And I
So I've
said,
been on pain medications for that long. So yep.
wow. So do they switch up the pain medication for you so you don't get addicted?
Oh, that's what they call that stuff doing. But I don't take anything. I won't even take a. I'll take a Tylenol here and there.
Mhm.
Um, but I've been off of pain medication now for almost 3 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So yeah, I won't take nothing. Even now when I go through the pain and stuff, I'm I'm not gonna take no pain pill. I can't do that.
Well,
So
it's just so good that to know that I always wonder what Crohn's disease is, but now that I know, I'm glad that you
mm,
educated us about that. And I knowing that you done had this for this long, that's and you know when a lot about it. So
yeah,
anybody that that's going through it, know about it. Um,
yeah,
is there anything you would like to tell anybody out here that could be going through any kind of domestic violence situation, mental, physical abuse, or anything that you would like to? tell anybody that watches this video and that could be going through maybe a similar situation that you have been through.
Yeah, I used to think oh, if he hitting me, he doing this or doing that. Oh, I know he loved me. That is not love. That's not love, none whatsoever. He don't even that person don't even love themselves. To be honest with
Right.
you. So yeah, just get out. Even if you got to take your children or whatever in the middle of the night when they sleep, get out. And a lot of times it don't have to be physical. It can, be emotional, verbal. It can be the things that they say to you, to try to make you feel less than. Yeah, just don't tolerate that. I don't advise anybody, male or female, to
Mhm.
tolerate that.
Well, thank you so much again, Kristen, for coming on and tell your story. Guys, I'm going to drop her information again, guys. If you want to, if you have it on your heart to want to give to her and her Spencer boys, there are there I have dropped the link to the Amazon wish list and her Cash App information. If you want to give to it, please give to it. Like I said, Christmas is a time for giving, and this is a mother that she, her story. You have listened to her story, so why not bless her and let's make someone's Christmas on today. This is not like I know Christmas. Kristen is not saying this because she want to be a charity case, but she didn't want to eat. You hear it, then. I'm glad that you did because you never know what God can do. If I understand that sometimes pride can stop you from your blessings because you don't want
Yeah,
nobody in your business. Because people are going,
right.
well, she bad, but
Uh-huh.
this not or let me say this, or somebody be like, oh my God, child, somebody trying to get over on somebody on YouTube. It's not like that. Because
Mhm.
I know that,
Yeah,
the tears that you shed on this live, them ain't fake tears, baby. Them real.
me- yeah, yeah.
But is there anything else you would like to say? Is there anybody? I do want to drop the link. Um, if you don't mind, if me dropping the link. Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
if somebody want to come on here and say something, there is the link, guys. I do want to, we about to get off here because I know Kristen, she's probably got to get up early in the morning, and I got to get up early in the morning, to get kids
Mhm,
ready. So, when you are a single parent, you have to do a lot on your own.
mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So Bob, while we're waiting, tell me some things about you. Tell us some things about your boys.
Um, well, my boys are very, very smart. Like I said, they are very protective of me. They don't bother me at all. A lot of people, when I was having them, a lot of people was like, "What in the world are you having babies back to back like that for?" And it was hard when they were little. But my mama one thing she used to always tell me, and I definitely understand it now. She told me they were not gonna be babies forever. They
Right.
weren't gonna be babies. So I get it now. They're at a point now. Well, if I need to run to the grocery store, which is literally right around the corner, they can stay here for 10, 15 minutes by themselves and I don't have to worry about them. They can, if I don't feel like cooking, I buy a lot of stuff that they can fix to their own. And girl, they just love to go in the kitchen and act like they cooking something. So um, I really
Order a
don't
popcorn.
know. I really don't. They're not bad kids. That's the
Mhm.
thing. My kids aren't bad kids. I really don't know that they're in the house unless somebody get on somebody's nerve and I hear them yelling at each other or something like that. But other than that, they're in their room doing their own thing. They come out when they want something to eat, and most of the time they fix that themselves. My kids are the type of kids that when I was able to provide a lot more on my own and stuff. I would pick them up from school. I would ask them what y'all want to eat today or whatever, where y'all want to eat from. My children, most kids will scream they want McDonald's or Chick-fil-A. My kids prefer to eat from the house.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they'll say they. They don't want that. They want something. They're gonna fix some at the house, some pizza rolls or something. They so they're not, spoiled kids or entitled kids or something. So
That's one.
yeah, I really lucked up. I got good kids. And another thing I will tell females that, you know, unless you doing it because you want to do it, but never, if you're not married, never let anybody else influence you on whether or not you want to get your tubes tied or whatever. Because that's one mistake I did make too. I ended up getting my tubes tied after my last baby.
Wow.
Um,
I was
hmm
thinking about it, but some told me not to. I was like, because it's
Yeah,
mm,
I wish I wouldn't have done that. But yeah, that was a mistake that I made. And I just advise anybody, don't do that, especially if you're not married and that's not something that you want to do. No, mm-mm,
right.
don't do that.
That
Yeah,
has to be a husband and wife kind of decision. But
yeah,
you know, so yeah. But once again, Kristen, thank you so much for coming in, man, and letting us hear
mm,
your story. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you reaching out to me, and telling me about your situation and trying to get some help. That's what
yeah,
I'm a single mother, and anytime I can help another single mother, I'll do
mm,
it because I know what it feels like to struggle by yourself.
yeah. And I was so scared to email you at first, because
Yeah,
I've been following you for a long. I don't know if you could tell once, but I started following you right after Takia. Because I follow that story all the time.
yeah.
So I've been.
Oh,
And I started following you. I think after your first video that you made on Takia, that's when I started following you. So I've
yeah.
been following you for a very long time. I'm quiet, so I don't really say nothing in the chat, but I get on and listen and stuff like that. Yeah, I've been following you for a while.
Thank you for being one of my lawyers. Lawyer people. Y'all can come on here and say, like I said, as long as we respectful, man, we're going to, have a conversation. And I appreciate
Mhm.
you for subscribing and being loyal.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna be loyal to y'all just so much.
yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you so much.
Uh,
Um, well, I guess this is gonna be the end of the live. I hate to see you go. But once again, guys, this is Kristen. And as well, guys, everything that you will need is in the description box. All you have to do is click the link. Her Cash App information is in the link in the description box below. Um, that's all that I have for tonight. Once again, Kristen, thank you for coming on. We wish you well.
Thank you.
I hope your boys have a Merry Christmas. If you need anything from me, email me. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Have a
All right.
good
All
night.
right. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm about to end this live on tonight. Thank you guys for the ones that has came in and given support or have given to Kristen and her boys, guys. If you want to give, please give. Let's make their Christmas the most magical, wonderful Christmas of it all. So, guys, thank you guys once again for watching, and y'all have a good night. And I'll see you guys on tomorrow.